Stash money back, stash money back. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Madam Z, sending peace and positive vibes y'all's way once again. And yes, it is definitely another beautiful sunny day here in Zamunda. I am outside in my backyard, getting creative as I do best. And today I wanted to bring you a message of hope and inspiration. And mainly it's talking about consistency. And that's my topic for today, being consistent. Being consistent to help rid yourself of bad habits that aren't serving you, as well as any addictions you're looking to overcome. You know, it wasn't an overnight journey to success for me when it came to me breaking free from 17 plus years of opioids. And it definitely wasn't easy, but I made it. And the way I was able to make it through and survive the opioid epidemic that's taking place right here in our community, um, I was able to survive that by being consistent with myself and being true to my words. When I made the commitment to myself to leave behind ways that were no longer working with me, that meant not only the environment or the people I was around, that also meant, going ahead and leaving behind everything I had been taught when it came to my physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. I was also in the church I was in the church for almost 20 years of my life, and I ended up one day just walking away from it because it became so redundant to me to get up each Sunday or Wednesday and go to a facility that was not catering to my spiritual well-being in the way that my heart desired. It was not. The only thing it was consistent in doing was imposing fear on me. And so that fear kept me deeply rooted in my opioid addiction. And I never related the two until after I began to go through my journey and break through that addiction cycle. And I was able to see how it was easy for me to succumb to my addictions when I was rooted in that fear level, and then those negative vibes that just keep you down and low all the time and make you doubt yourself constantly and have you feeling like you can't do it, you don't want to do it, and that you're tired. You're tired of being sick. You're tired of being frustrated. You're tired of not manifesting what you want. You're consistent in what you're tired of and what you don't want. But it's harder to be consistent in the things that we actually do require and the things that we need, because sometimes for me anyway, sometimes life can interfere and obstacles arise. And if you're in a situation where you don't know how to deal with that obstacle or what hurdle standing in your way, you're going to fall back to your old patterns and behaviors that weren't serving you in the past. It's how the addiction cycle keeps going over and over and over again. Now, I am not a medical professional. I have no schooling and training when it comes to the medical practices that are going on in our Western society. However, I am spiritually, mentally, and physically dedicated to the craft of leveling up myself and clearing my chakras and raising my frequency and vibration so that I can be healthy, whole, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I have learned through 2 decades of Western medicine and being in the hospital over and over again, doing pain management for 17 plus years. That's a long time to be on pain medicine. And again, consistency. I was very consistent with going to the doctor and getting my pills and going home and taking them. But that's it. That's all I did. I relied on the medicine to do for me what I should have been doing for myself. I was consistently relying on the wrong help. And a lot of us do that. And it is my hope that I can impart some messages of wisdom to you. No, I'm not telling you to drop your doctors and your medical profession at once and turn into yourself for healing. No, I still have a team of doctors that, well, only two now, but I still have physicians that I consult when I feel the urge to. The emergency room is there for a reason. There are a reason we have doctors that are able to help us. We do need that when it's necessary. But sometimes the way we feel inside is a direct result on how we feel mentally and how we feel spiritually and outwardly about ourselves. And it all comes right back into us and it festers. We end up blocking off our chakras and absorbing all the negative thoughts and energy in the ether, and it just compounds on top of us along with our own frustrations. And once again, the consistency of being tired, frustrated, and sick rolls back in again, and your health just continues to decline. And I know this because I was right there. I walked that path for so very long, wandering from doctor to doctor saying, oh, this doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. He told me that my tests were just fine, but this pain I'm experiencing in my gut is real. I'm not making it up. I never once considered that it was my environment. It was the people I was around. It was the stress and frustrations that I allowed to come into my life that had me sick in my gut. Study shows that the gut acts as your second brain. But for me, I feel like your gut is your first brain, because the information that travels to the gut when you're off in need of an immediate answer that's going to tell you whether or not you should make that decision or whether or not you should walk the other way, that gut instinct is real. And a lot of the time we ignore that gut instinct, and what happens is it starts to stagnate, it festers, and it turns into pain. I know I ended up having 23 surgeries because I allowed that pain to fester, because I was not listening to my gut instinct that was telling me, hey, you're more than this. You don't have to rely on these doctors to heal you. Just walk with me, talk with me, get to know me, and be consistent in making commitments and keeping it. Make sure to exercise and eat properly and guard your spiritual awareness and well-being on your own, because the outside sources can confuse you, and they get to the point to where there's so much confusion and such a fog in your brain that you don't know what's left and what's right. And then all of a sudden I'm tired. I'm frustrated, and I'm sick of this. And that's what happened when you say, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm sick of it. And next thing you know, you're sick. You're not feeling well. And our chakras, I am learning. I have been studying because I am still on the journey to heal myself. But our chakras are the direct avenue of getting in contact with source and with our internal world on the inside. So I'm researching my chakras, and I'm learning more about how to not only clear up blocked chakras, but to really keep everything spinning in my vortex so my body can continue to repair itself, because the human body is amazing. It is incredible. When we fall asleep at night, no one has to tell us to remember to breathe or keep our heart pumping. No, the body does that automatically. The spirit is amazing. It can overcome anything, regardless of your fears or insecurities. The spirit is so strong and so sure within. All we have to do is listen and be consistent in listening. Once I started to be consistent in listening to my inner spirit, I was able to break free from those cycles of addiction and abuse that were not serving me. And I was able to turn to my creative outlet that the universe bestowed upon me the moment I set foot in this realm. And I've been able to use my art to not only heal myself physically, mentally, and spiritually, but I've also been able to use my art as a way of reaching other people and inspiring, encouraging, motivating them to become their greatest versions, because that's what it allows me to do. Each day I'm able to create. I'm always in a state of gratitude. And that is another consistent part of my life. Gratitude. Making sure that I am appreciating the now, what I have and where I am, has helped me to grow tremendously. The amount of joy that I experience each day is truly unprecedented in my life. And when the obstacle does pop up in my way, I know how to handle it because I've been consistent in removing all of the bad habits and behaviors that I was once associating with. And now my mind is clear. I'm able to focus. I have the energy, the stamina, the endurance to go and actually live my life instead of allowing life to live me. And that's something none of us should want to be consistent about, allowing life to live us, and we're just a passenger, not no longer in the driver's seat. I did that for a very long time. I refused to sit in the driver's seat. I was always in the passenger seat, and I always felt like I was looking inside of a box at the actions that I did on a daily basis. And it was always the same thing, consistent over and over and over again. Doctor's medicine, sick, doctor's medicine, sick. You know, it didn't matter that I had a positive outlook or I was optimistic. I was truly just fooling myself because I refused to let go of bad habits and behaviors that didn't serve me. And although I was optimistic about healing myself, those bad patterns and behaviors, they weren't allowing me to be healed. I couldn't even touch that positive energy because I was nowhere near that frequency yet. I could not even move toward that sunny side up spectrum until I was able to get past the deep dark well of despair that kept me rooted in fear, stagnation, and opioid addiction. And so today my message to you is to be consistent. Be consistent in the goals you have in life, to not only elevate yourself, elevate your surroundings and the people who are around you. And no, I'm not talking about material wealth, cars, houses, clothes, shoes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the spiritual and mental knowledge and awareness to know that living in the now and following your heart and your gut instinct is where you're supposed to be. And to give yourself the chance to develop a routine spiritually, mentally, and physically that's actually going to benefit you in the future. I have to give a shout out to Ralph Smart. I truly love diving deep with you, Ralph. I can't stop smiling every time I get ready to hear a new message from Infinite Waters. I press the button immediately because I know you're going to impart some gracious words of wisdom. And one of the things that Ralph is always imparting to his deep divers is that you must do something today that your future self will thank you for. And that's what I'm doing. By hitting record, I'm doing something today that my future self will thank me for. By getting out here in my backyard with the sun shining down on me, absorbing this good, healthy vitamin D, about to do some more art behind me. I already got my setup. I'm doing something that my future self is going to thank me for. As a matter of fact, I'm thanking myself right now. I'm in a very joyous mood because I've been consistently working towards becoming my greatest version and leveling up. And being consistent goes hand in hand with the law of attraction, because if you are consistent in your high vibrations, in your physical and spiritual well-being, the universe is going to work with you. The universe is going to work with you, because the purpose that you're striving for is the purpose that the universe wants to see you fulfill. And all of us have our own purpose, individual purpose within, that we have to discover for ourselves. So I hope you guys are out there and being consistent, or attempting to start a consistent routine. It takes 21 days to develop a habit. So if you do so for 21 days over and over again, the consistency just becomes a routine. For me, consistency has developed into the R. That C has gone from C to R. Now I'm just in the constant routine of leveling up, doing things that my future self will thank me for. And I'm sure you guys are out there ready to do the same. So until next time, y'all, I hope y'all out there getting creative. Peace.